Hello, everyone. My name is Mark Vina, and welcome to the SmartTechCheck podcast, where we cover all tech topics that are smart home, home automation, security, and console gaming related. Today is Thursday, October 1st, 2020. The subject of today's podcast is printer security. Most people view the printer in your home or your home office setup as a benign and harmless device, but it can be an unsuspecting vehicle for the nefarious to hack into your computer's network and cause a lot of damage. I recently wrote a white paper entitled, "Is Your Printer the New Trojan Horse?" that probes into the security-related issues involving the seemingly benign printer and the ways that print leader HP is responding to these challenges. To join me for a robust discussion on this topic, I'm excited to be joined by Guillaume Gerardin, General Manager and Head of the Global Supply Business at HP, and Shivaun Albright, HP's Chief Technologist of Printer Cybersecurity. Both are longtime veterans at HP. Don't want to date both of you, but they both know an awful lot about this topic. Shivaun and Guillaume, welcome to this podcast.
Great, thank you.
Thank you, Mark. I'm glad we're here.
Where are you guys calling in from?
I'm based in San Francisco.
And Shivaun,
Sacramento, California.
but you're within an easy drive, especially
Yep.
now. It's very easy to drive to locations today until while the pandemic continues. But this is a very important topic, and you both know this. The thing that really concerns me the most is that most people really don't understand the security-related issues that printers pose. But before we get into that, and I'll start with you, Guillaume, let's talk a little bit about about some background on this, because long before the initiative into printers and consumables related security, which we're going to talk about, security has always been a big high priority topic for HP over the years. Could you describe the origins for this and the internal resources and expertise that HP brings to the table to confront these big problems?
Yes, definitely. I think from a HP standpoint, we've been always caring about security for our customers and security of the devices that we sell to our customers. And that journey started with the printer and what is embedded as security protocols within the printer. We've been generation after generation increasing the level of protection that was embedded in those printers. Those printers are connected to the network. I mean, network is an entry point for attackers and cyber attack, as we all know more and more every day. And that was very important for us to ensure that we were guaranteeing a device that would have the proper level of defense, security defense embedded. Now we are expanding this into making sure that not only the printer, but our supply chain systems and the manufacturing processes is also responding to or meeting very high standards of security. And most recently, what we've been doing is making sure that the cartridges, which operate and security protocols with the printer, are also meeting very high level of standards of security, so that we make it extremely difficult for any cyber attacker to actually enter the system, enter the network of our customers. And that's really have been the philosophy over time, to continuously improve and provide the best standards of security to our customers.
And Shivaun, because you're the technologist on the call, let's talk about the internal resources that HP has, because you kind of measure an initiative and the importance of an initiative within a company based on the resources that a company brings to bear on it. So give us some flavor for how HP approaches this and just the know-how and expertise that the company has to tackle these problems like this in the security realm.
Yeah, sure. I think we took the key learnings from the PC side, right? If HP has printers and PCs, and at the time, I think about 20 years ago, the PCs were taking a critical view of security because the hackers had started to attack PCs. The printer side learned from that and started focusing as well on security. We felt that it was critically important that we protect our customers. And taking those key learnings of how hackers were attacking PCs, we applied those to the printers as well, looking at ways to push the innovation envelope and protect our customers and our devices so that they did not become an attack vector. One of the key learnings we can all learn from Microsoft, right, is security is a journey. You're never really done. The hackers are becoming more sophisticated. They're becoming, they're advancing on tools that can help attack devices and software in the marketplace. And so we're always continually looking at how can we innovate and look for ways to protect our devices, as well as in the event that we cannot protect against all of those attacks, detect certain types of anomalies or patterns in our devices that could be indicative of a malicious attack. Now, what we do today, we have HP is in a unique position. We have an HP Labs organization that actually does research into these areas. HP is uniquely positioned to identify what's the malware out there, investigating that with our research team, and identifying ways that we can protect our devices from those attacks, as well as detect those in the event that we can't protect against those. So I think, we've got a large amount of resources that are focused on this. It's not, I can't give you numbers because security needs to be in the DNA of your employees, right? You need to have security top of mind as you're developing products, as you're developing software. It needs to be part of that, core competency of your engineers, your designers, at every level. And we definitely apply significant resources, and it's been recognized by IDC. HP has been identified as a leader 2 years running as the leader in print security by IDC. So we're always pushing that innovation envelope.
Yeah, and I think you bring up a fascinating point, Shivaun, in that HP's heritage on the PC side, and you guys have been PC leaders for some time. It's a very complementary skill set that obviously brings a lot of credibility to bear on the problem. For Guillaume, let's talk about the phrase I used earlier, and I think I used this phrase in the white paper, and that you look at the printer. Most people, they come home or they go to their office during normal times, and they see that printer. It's a very comforting device. It's only kind of sitting there when you need some type of outputted material on a piece of paper. It's typically viewed as benign in many ways. Hey, it can't harm anybody. But obviously, we know that's not true. There have been examples when there have been attacks at the printer level, and Shivaun, like you said, the bad guys are very creative. They know more and more people are now working from home. They're looking for ways to exploit holes and gaps in security schemes. But let's just, even and especially from a remote worker standpoint, let's talk about the hidden threats. Can you kind of characterize those threats for us? And then I want to give Shivaun a shot at that question too.
Sorry, did you say the inflex?
Yes, the threat, the hidden threats that are posed to businesses and printers. I mean, how do these typical threats manifest themselves at the printer level, at a very high level?
Yes, I mean, so at a very high level, I think the most basic way of thinking about it is that your printer is not just a nice device at home or in the office, put on a furniture and operating on its own. It's actually connected. Most printers are connected. So they're connected to a smartphone, they are connected to a PC in order to be able to do what they are designed to do, which is printing. And with those connections and a connection to the system, I mean, that creates a potential entry point for attackers into the system, your system at home or your system in the office. So as simply said, basically printer, which may not be viewed as the most immediate device you would attack into in order to enter a system, is actually a point where a device that is connected to the system. And as cyber attackers are typically searching for the weakest link in your network, they can target the printer in order to enter the network if that printer does not embed the right security system and protocols. So HP has been really, like Shivaun was describing, along that journey of, I mean, it's decades of learnings that we've been embedding into our printer in the way we think about our security. But most importantly, we keep on challenging ourselves. We keep on being proactive to what could happen. It's always a rat race about, I mean, keeping a competitive edge around from the attackers and the sophistication that we might see, and taking examples from the industry, from other industries, from our PC business as well, in order to bring that into the printer technology so that we make it a super secure system for our customers.
And Shivaun, because you're, again, the resident technologist on this call, talk to us about how those, those threats manifest itself, because from my perspective, the most dangerous thing about threats like this, you may not even know that they're happening. Those are the best cyber attacks, is that, you only find out it when there's some type of really bad outcome or consequence, but you may not find out about it, certainly in real time. So give me a few examples on how an attack on your printer could occur.
Yeah, great question, Mark. We recently had one just in the last several months, right? Cyber News had an article where they essentially highlighted that they had hijacked, or researchers had hijacked, about 28,000 printers on the public internet. So these are devices that maybe erroneously are connected to the internet or purposefully connected to the public internet. And they highlighted that they could actually hijack. They didn't really hijack. What they did is they used the opportunity to print to print a job to those devices that highlighted, hey, this is how you should try to secure your devices, right? They had, which was good, but those could easily have been attacks where they were sitting dormant on the device. You wouldn't even know it. And what is the risk of that? Well, and I get asked by customers, well, wait, it's a printer. What's the risk? Those printers are printing confidential documents. And with the latest COVID, isolation and people working from home, work from home workers, employees, they're using their printers in their homes. They're printing confidential information that could be exfiltrated, from the device and putting that company at risk. They can, that information can be used for blackmail or cyber espionage, corporate espionage. And so there is a risk of these devices. And, the three things that, we talk to customers about, and this is what, Cyber News highlighted is, hey, make sure you set a password on that device. And this goes for any IoT device that you may have in your home. Make sure it's a unique password, and it's not the default one that's shipped with the device. The second area is around making sure that you've got the latest up-to-date firmware. And this one is so critical because we have a lot of customers that are not updating their printers nor their IoT devices. And several years back, the NSA did a study, and what they found was that hackers were using known vulnerabilities in the industry that had not been patched, right? And so this is where it's so easy to fix this by, on our printers, you can set a flag that says automatically update to the latest firmware. And, it's important to do that. And then, the third item is, hey, turn off any unused protocols or ports on that device. Any potential, protocol on that device that's not needed is a potential attack vector. So, and these are just, some of the things that we're trying to raise the awareness of the risks of printers. And there's some simple, hygiene, digital hygiene things that you can do to help secure those devices.
Right. No, Shivaun, I think your points are well taken, because when you think about it, when you think about the potential scope of how big this problem could be, I mean, the install base of printers, not just HP printers, but printers itself, it's in the, hundreds of millions number. It's a big number. And, while HP has got a pretty significant chunk of that number because of your leadership and legacy in the printer business, that creates a remarkable opportunity for, I call it the bad guys to do, nasty things. But, let's flip it on its side now, because, the HP is kind of the cavalry from my perspective, and is really have been thinking about these problems for a long time. Let's talk a little bit about the ways that HP is attacking it, and especially from a consumable standpoint, and even from an embedded printer firmware standpoint as well, because that's really, from my perspective, that's really the only way you can attack this problem in a fundamentally baseline way. So, you know, Shivaun, I'll tee this off to you, and then we'll turn to Guillaume for his comments on that.
Yeah, you know, it's kind of about putting the protections into the device. So we have a term called cyber resiliency, and we've marketed this. And what that really means is that you're protecting the device to the degree that you can, but recognizing, hey, with enough time and effort, those hackers are going to find issues with those devices. So then we don't want to detect any type of anomalies that may occur on that device. We have some technologies like runtime intrusion detection that's looking for anomalies in memory. We also have a connection inspector that is looking at outgoing network packets from the device and looking for potential, you know, patterns that may be out of the ordinary, such as, you know, malware that may be injected into the device that is sending out packets that it shouldn't be doing. And so we're looking at these things. And, you know, I get asked, how does an attack occur on a device? And it's typically the hackers are looking for any interface on the device that gives them entry. So they're looking for, like, you know, anywhere where you may send unexpected input to the device, and that input could cause a potential buffer overflow. And that is a potential entry point, because that is where potentially injection of firmware could occur and take over the device. And like you said in your article, or it could be a Trojan horse. You don't know it's there until something bad happens, right? So you want to put protections in those devices. So cyber resiliency is really important, and making sure these devices have those protections and that are needed by our customers.
And it's all real-time technology, of course. You know, when these attacks are happening in real time, that capability has the ability to shut down the printer, reset the printer, so to speak, you know, almost in real time. So it's not like you're finding out about it after the fact.
Yes, that is a great point. And that is what we call self-healing, the ability to, in the event that we detect an attack, we can actually self-heal the device, shut down the device, and bring it back up into a safe state prior to that malware attack. So yeah, thank you for raising that point.
And Guillaume, I mean, and this is, to me, we're going to get, want to get into this in detail, is HP is also attacking this from a consumables standpoint, which is, I think, a great idea for a variety of different reasons. But let's talk a little bit about how HP's business supplies approach is really aiding it in its effort to really combat printer security issues.
Yeah, so I think what we've been talking about over this discussion is the evolution of the security journey when it comes to the printer. We've talked about the printer device. We've talked about the security in the supply chain, manufacturing, the system, and how attacks could materialize. What we realize over time is that as the sophistication happens, is that any elements of that system that is connecting and sending protocols to another device could represent an entry point. And the cartridge itself has become a potential source for such a threat to materialize. And so what we've started to design back in 2015, we started to design our cartridges with what we call smart card technology. And so with this equivalent security as what you see in credit cards or debit cards. So it's a very elevated security level.
Very robust technology,
which we have embedded into our cartridges. And people have to realize that actually the cartridge is not just a box of plastic with some ink or toner into it. It's actually embedding a microchip, which is basically talking to the printer, to the device, and that's what forms the features that you see on a printer, the quality, and as a result, since that dialogue is happening, and we we needed to make sure that that chip is tamper resistant, embed this type of security technology, so that interaction with the printer device could not be compromised. Mm-hmm. And you might have seen several years ago, actually, something that kind of created a little bit of a shock to this industry is that one of the printer OEM was subject to a cyber attack on its cartridges. So yeah. It happened through the cartridge.
We won't say who they are, but it's in my white paper.
Yes. And that's just one example that this is no fantasy. And when you think this happened actually several years ago, think about what could be done with the evolution of the technology, the sophistication under which cyber attackers can operate now. And so we've continuously evolved our technology, like I said, implemented the SmartTech card technology in our chips already since 2015, and we are continuously evolving this to make sure we can stay ahead of threats that could occur through the cartridge.
And you know, Shivaun, you know what I want to drill down on, and Guillaume spoke of it, is that within the firmware within the printer, that firmware is using smart card technology, the same type of technology that is used at a credit card level, which obviously the credit cards that have been used for the last 10 years or so far have an embedded chip in it that makes it virtually impossible to compromise. And I think that's really incredible. So can we talk a little bit about that? Because I think it's really, I don't think most people realize that when they're buying that toner cartridge or that ink cartridge, it really has built-in robust technology to aid the security profiles that HP is trying to execute.
Yeah, you know, that is an important point. And, you know, the reason we actually came out with this technology, so any component or part you add to a device aftermarket is a potential risk factor. And our customers were asking, hey, how do I know whether I've got HP Authentic cartridges on my printer or not? Because there are counterfeit cartridges out in the market today. And this is that smart card technology that Guillaume was referring to. It's essentially a hardened microprocessor that we're putting onto the cartridge so that you can authentically tell this is HP Authentic or not. Now, the flip side to this is that because that is a microprocessor and you're putting that into your device, if it's non-authentic HP, if it's a counterfeit, there is the risk of potential attack. You know, these microprocessors can be reprogrammed when they're non-authentic. And you want to make sure you know what the origin of any component or part you're adding to your device so that you know whether you're putting your device at risk or not. And you know, this is where it's critically important to know, again, where those cartridges have come from.
Well, and let's talk a little bit about that for a minute, because there are some consumers, there are some business customers who, when they see a thing, they see a program like a genuine HP program that's about buying genuine HP supplies, they see it, and too much of a casual manner. They see it as a marketing tactic, when in fact, that would be a massive misinterpretation of why that program is important, because there are ways, there are bad guys out there that love to buy consumables that have firmware that can be reprogrammed. I mean, there's all kinds of creative ways that hackers can break into a network. I can't think of anything more creative than selling someone an ink cartridge or a toner cartridge that has firmware that's been compromised. And this is obviously a way of attacking that. So let's talk, and maybe this is a better question for Guillaume, because the reason why I think it's so important is that the cost of operating a printer, and HP has done an outstanding job of coming up with a number of different ways to make printing much more affordable. So this is not a question of, well, you've got to pay a 50% premium for higher print quality for HP print consumables, but you're going to get more security devices. It's not an or. I mean, you can obviously use legendary genuine HP supplies, which are great from a quality standpoint. They work exactly as they're intended for the printer, but at the same time, it's affordable, and by the way, it's protecting your network from intrusion to the printer. So let's dispel that, if we could, Shivaun.
Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. I think it goes well beyond the security itself. I mean, I think that the security is just one of the pillars that we see resonating with our customers. Quality is foundational and has to be superior, and that's the experience that customers get when they buy HP Originals. They also, I mean, we make millions of dollars of investment in order to continuously improve the quality. We do also a lot of investment in order to make our system, including the cartridge, more sustainable, more planet friendly. And that's a huge investment in terms of recycling our cartridges, reducing the plastic content, in facilitating the recycling process. That's part of it, and we hear more and more from our customers that they like us doing that. And that is investment. That is investment that goes into the technology that we bring to our customers. With safety is another aspect of it. I mean, the chemicals that are used, the components of these cartridges are safe for our customer. And then last but not least, when it comes to the cartridge, and which is the topic we've been discussing, is about the security. We don't want this to become, we want peace of mind for our customers. We want them to enjoy, thrive, be amazed with the quality of the outputs and the reliability of our products, and we want peace of mind. We want them to feel it's safe, it's going to be secure, I can choose HP, and I'm not going to worry about those things. I think, simply said, that's what we hear a lot from our customers. And like you said, I mean, there are different options to make it affordable, convenient. You can you can buy cartridges through a program called InstaLink, available in the US and in many countries in the world, where you can get replenishment, automatic replenishment of your supplies, of your consumables, delivered to your door at a very affordable price. I mean, in fact, in average, customers can save up to 50% by subscribing. So they get everything that I described, and on top of that, they can get their cartridge delivered to their door when they need it. So they never run out, and they do it at a very convenient, affordable price. So yeah, again, the security element is one major important component of it, but it's kind of trying to create an overall amazing experience for our customers.
No, I think that's well said. And to me, the big headline is you can, yes, you can be secure, but it can be affordable security. It's affordable peace of mind. In the couple of minutes we have left, and I want to give Shivaun a shot at this question. I know you guys got some news to break today in terms of your bug bounty program, which all the great technology companies have very robust programs like this that really engage customers, engage the outside world to provide the capability to really make your products and devices best of class. So Shivaun, let's hear the news.
Yeah, so today we are announcing expansion of our bug bounty program to include cartridges. This shows HP's commitment to how important it is to have, to security around not only the device, but the cartridges. And we've had the bug bounty program started in 2018. We have had our devices submitted to the bug bounty program. And the HP was one of the first printer vendors to actually do this. And it's been highly successful. It finds issues and vulnerabilities that we may have missed in our own testing. We've been doing penetration testing on our devices for a long time, but what's interesting about a bug bounty program, it gives you access to skilled penetration testers worldwide, and some of these ethical hackers have the ability to just sniff out a vulnerability, and they did find them in our device program that we started in 2018. And again, we're expanding that out to our cartridges to show our commitment to security and protecting our customers with not only the device, but with the cartridges as well.
That's great. Are there any other specifics you could share, Shivaun, in terms of numbers? How does the program typically work?
Okay, perfect. Yeah, basically you have invited penetration testers into the program. You pay them a bounty amount. We are paying them $10,000 for critical issues. This is, important to HP. The last run of the program, they found about 40 defects that we went through, and we fixed those. We informed our customers through the security bulletin process. This gives us an opportunity to fix these issues before the bad guys find them, right? And protect our customers and protect the devices. So highly successful program.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that. Before we sign off, Guillaume, any closing comments? I mean, you guys are doing great work. It's certainly significant work, especially as more and more people spend time at home, working at home. And I think this is a great program that you're undertaking. But any closing thoughts?
Yeah. So first of all, thank you very much, Mark, for writing this white paper and giving us the opportunity to talk about this problematic of security. We are very pleased to announce this program, bug bounty program that Shivaun just described. This is a significant investment that the company is making for its customers. I mean, all of what we are talking about is really designed for our customers, and we know that they desire quality, they desire a sustainable product, they desire a safe product, they also desire peace of mind and security, and in that spirit we continuously improve it. And this bug bounty program is actually a very great example of our approach, which is around really driving a continuous improvement and staying ahead of these security threats that could occur. So thank you very much for that opportunity, Mark, to explain this.
Well, Shivaun, thank you for joining me for today's podcast. To the Moor Insights and Strategy audience, please follow us and our social media partners at Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter. And until next time, have a great week.
Thank you.